Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's watch party for the most excellent Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure for our In Search of Tomorrow documentary. As always, I'm Andrew, and I'm joined by the fantastic Dom.
Hello, everybody. Glad to be here again today.
Wow, Dom, if you could get any more enthusiastic, a funeral might break out on your end.
I'm tired, okay? There was a premiere that happened recently.
I know, I heard there was a premiere. I heard there was. I can see our friends are all joining us on Discord and YouTube. We've got, let's go through the list. Forgive me if I miss your name out as per usual. We've got Chaos Fear, Icy Matty, Eric, Lizardman, Sharon, Onzi, Mad Matt, Brainwire, Leanne, David, Bikies, and of course, Sparky John, I can see is just in the background there as well. So everybody, while we get ourselves ready, today's sync point, as this film's been owned by a few companies, it was owned by the late, great Orion at one point. What we're going to go for is there's a bit with one of the intros where it says Nelson Entertainment. I've posted a still of it in our Discord. So where it says Nelson Entertainment, we'll all get everyone pause there and ready to go. So Dom, when did you first see this film?
This film, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, I first saw that in the mid-2000s, I think, because as a child, I first watched Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. That was my introduction to Bill and Ted. That's a lie. My introduction to Bill and Ted was the cartoon.
The cartoon
Bill and
was
Excellent
the first
Adventures.
Season of the cartoon was great.
Yeah, I mean, I had Alex Winter and Keanu Reeves voicing the characters
For the first season.
Yeah.
But then the second
all
season,
I remember.
Let me... Oh, wow. I can also see CK Cultural Kitsch is joining us on YouTube. Welcome. Right, so Bill and Ted, a bit of history of it here. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures, the cartoon, first season was the original cast were involved in it. Then the follow-up season was some other actors doing the voices, but they were those voice actors were actually, there was a very short-lived live-action Bill and Ted sitcom. There was, and the voice actors played Bill and Ted in that.
I'm guessing the magic was lost when it's translated to another live-action TV series.
The sitcom, yeah, it was like people. Unfortunately, the problem is, I can see James Hellier joining us on YouTube. Welcome. The problem is, as you know, Bill and Ted is so quotable and brilliant, and so many people. Oh, Edward the Black Prince is joining us. Welcome, Edward. As you know, it's such a quotable film and so many people do impressions. It came across like they were doing impressions of Bill and Ted throughout the series.
Oh, God. Yeah, that'd be terrible.
Oh, it was absolutely appalling. But if I recall, yeah, that's right. The live action TV show was also called Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures, the same as the cartoon.
You know, that's not confusing at all.
No, it had Evan Richards as Bill Preston and Chris Kennedy as Ted. And it did have, though, one of our favourite actresses from the 80s, from the horror genre, Lisa Wilcox played Missy.
Oh.
So a bit of quality there. Right. Everybody, if we're all ready, on the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1... press play. Oh, this film. Oh, are
we going to get our impressions out of the way, or are we?
I don't want to do too many impressions. I don't want to do too many impressions because I think, okay, I'm going to do one of my polls. So I'm going to ask the question to Discord because I can't do polls really there. Well, I will. Who is better, Bill and Ted or Wayne and Garth?
For me, it's no contest at all. Bill and Ted. I can only remember one scene from Wayne's World, and that's probably it's going to make me lose some friends. But I remember so much of Bill and Ted.
I think
it's probably because I liked Beavis and Butthead a lot as a kid as well. So
I'm seeing universal Bill and Ted across the board here, and I'd agree with you as well because Wayne and Garth were all right, but I always felt Wayne and Garth had a bit of a mean streak running through them.
Yes, they were mean-ish. They weren't like very mean, but there was a bit of cruelty, like snarkiness to them. Whereas Bill and Ted are just genuine.
They're genuinely nice guys, they seem to be.
Yeah.
Oh, I can see, well, Dougie Lee Curtis joining us on YouTube. Welcome, Dougie. saying Bill and Ted, the OGs. And
Yeah.
from Discord, we've got Icy Matty saying both Calbot, Bill and Ted. Eric saying Bill and Ted. Sharon saying Bill and Ted set the bar, but Wayne and Garth have their niche. Edward the Black Prince saying Wayne and Garth for me. Sparky John says Bill and Ted would crush Wayne and Garth. And Onzi saying Bill and Ted are more rad. Brainwire, Bill and Ted. Oh, Lizard Man. Oh, man, I mean, Wayne and Garth are fun, but Bill and Ted just seem more fun to hang around. Also, I'd be smarter than them.
Yeah, it's nice being the smartest person in the room.
I don't know how much talking we're going to do over this film because I just want to watch
it. I know, just going to sit back and enjoy it, aren't we? So a story of my childhood, when the little-known movie called The Matrix kind of slithered out into the cinema. I'm not sure if you've heard about it or not, but I remember distinctly when we got the Matrix on VHS, I was young, so I kept dubbing over every one of Keanu's lines with his Ted voice. So I remember being like, I know Kung Fu, dude. Had this big, dubbing phase of my childhood where I dub over movies with my own impressions.
The thing is, this is such an 80s thing they're doing now where everybody thought they were going to be in a band.
Yeah.
80s and early 90s thing where everybody thought they were going to be a rock star. In my school, I had a group of friends who thought they were going to be the most amazing rock stars, and they gave a performance once at a school lunchtime, and they were all just playing their own instrument in their own for the song, but like they weren't playing together.
Oh, imagine doing that. How cringy. Who in their right mind would have thought they would make it big as a band and a kid? Definitely not me. Oh. Yeah, I definitely didn't have this kind of setup in my garage as a kid. Living the dream.
Yes. But we can see that they've got the wrong attitude of everything, where they think that to be good musicians, it's their instruments are letting them down. It's they need a certain member of the band and whatever. It's talent that they need.
Yeah. I always, I love the pair of them. I'm trying to think which one is my favorite. Am I a Bill guy or am I a Ted guy? And I think I've been going back and forth my entire life on who I prefer.
I don't think you can have one without the other, really, though, can you?
Oh yeah, they're a twosome, a double act.
We're seeing another 80s icon on screen now. Bernie, well, the late, great Bernie Casey, who was probably one of my favorite roles, was as UN Jefferson in Revenge of the Nerds. But he always strikes me as a teacher.
Yeah, he wears tweed very well. I also love the way they talk. Like they have such an oddly eloquent way of speaking. My distinguished colleague Ted and I, like it's it's the duality of it. They speak relatively eloquent, but with such a goofy tone.
Yeah, strange enough, this is something I was speaking to someone about recently. Part of my real job, as you probably know, my proper job. I'm in IT. I work in IT, and one of the things I have to do occasionally is give presentations, etc. What they're using is something my teacher would describe as stolen words. And what they mean by stolen words when you're giving presentation is don't use words that you wouldn't normally say. So it's like they've heard these things try to make themselves sound bigger and cleverer and, you know, more whatever, but it's not
improper. Yeah.
Exactly. It's not how they would normally speak. And then it sounds quite kind of wrong coming out of them.
Yeah.
I love the fact that this is such an 80s. I know, Sharon, more smarter. I know. Exactly. More smarterer than me. So this is such an 80s thing as well that I love. It's a very typical situation of two kids are going to fail a class at school. How are they going to
pick up?
Yeah. How are they going to solve it?
All of those books, they did this one report. Get out.
Gosh. I'm going to have to check something on this. So if you see the car she's got, it's a 1986 Ford Mustang. It's basically the same car as Vanilla Ice. Well, it's the generation before the one Vanilla Ice rapped about in Ice Ice Baby being the 5.0. But it's got the rag top down.
The Mustangs of that era, I'm not a huge fan. 60s, no. Bordering in the 70s, fine. And the modern Mustangs, sure, they're lovely looking vehicles. But the 80s and 90s, something terrible happened.
No, that's right, James. Joan of Arc is not Noah's wife.
I would have loved to have been that dim-witted yet snappy to come up with that answer. And I love that the main concern isn't going to military school. It's the band is going to get broken up.
We're not going to point out any time travel shenanigans in this, all right? So about predestined paradoxes and things like that. We're not going to go into changing.
Yeah.
No. I do love this, though, the whole thing with the phone booth.
Awesome. Be excellent to each other. If that's not being said in the future,
exactly,
I don't want to live in that future.
Now, all you young'uns, this is what's called a phone box. This is how, before we had mobile phones everywhere,
this is how we traveled through time.
When we were out and about. Exactly. Dougie Lee Curtis is saying, kids today have no idea what a phone booth is. It's not, as if you see in certain places, it's not a book library or a coffee shop.
Two movies that Keanu Reeves has been in where a phone booth is central to the plot.
Yeah. Exactly.
This and Johnny Mnemonic.
Exactly. And yeah. And the one Matrix film they made.
Yeah. Never made a single other one.
Nope. Nope. Oh, Mad Matt question for the chat. Good one. Which did you see first, the phone booth or the phone box? Well, I'm British and Dom is as well, so probably Doctor Who's TARDIS. being the police
Yes.
box. For me, definitely.
Yeah, 100%. That's the first one I saw.
Mm. That's right, Sparky John. There is only one Matrix movie. He flew off into the sky at the end of it to have further wacky adventures. No one knows what happened to Neo.
If only they made more.
Yeah. Those toasties are horrendous. They're burnt. Sorry, grilled cheese, translate them for the American audience. We would call that a toasty here.
Yep. I want a toasty now. What
do they have toast? Do they have toasty makers in America? Like the Breville ones, like we have?
No, well, maybe they do. I just never seen one. I just grill things on the grill. On the hob.
Stove, Dom, stove.
I know, I said it to trigger everyone.
I need to set a little like box up when we speak English to translate some of it for the American friends.
If some kids come up and asked you, what year was Marco Polo in?
Oh.
Exactly. Yeah, I got the Circle K lady. I don't know, just work here.
The thing is, as well, this is actually a real chain, Circle K.
Yeah, Circle K. I know. It's great.
That's the thing. It's having been to America several times, I would say we don't, well, you probably know, Dom, as well, we don't have anything like gas stations like that over here in the UK.
Maybe like a Shell.
Yeah, but nothing to the extent of we have slushy machines and hot dogs for sale and that kind of stuff. We just literally have, you can maybe buy a bottle of Coke and a pack of a Mars bar or a Twix and some cigarettes, and that's about it.
Exactly,
really,
yeah.
As well as buying your gas, that's all we have.
A corner shop is where you get your good stuff.
Yeah.
And they were rarely chains. They're always like bargain booze or labeled something else.
I wonder if this will pay off later in the film.
Yeah.
That's a quote.
Yes. Strange things are afoot at the Circle K.
Oh, and if we look briefly at the phone booth the other Bill and Ted just arrived in, the top of it's very slightly different.
I wonder why.
Whoa.
I wonder how many takes it took for them to get the perfect whoa.
Ted's really into his layers, isn't he? He's got a jacket, a waistcoat, and a t-shirt on.
That's a style.
With like shorts.
Yeah. Pretty full phone booth as well.
It is. There's a lot of people in there. I do like the way, though, when it disappears, you get the kind of the lightning racing around on the floor.
Yeah, very Terminator.
Yeah.
Bodacious. I'm realizing how much of my vocabulary was influenced by these movies. Yep.
So, guys, if you had the circuits of time, where would you go? Mad Max, where is Shaun shopping in Shaun of the Dead? That's a corner shop. That's just a regular British corner shop. It's like or a newsagent's, that would be. It's like just a little store on a street, but they wouldn't sell gas. They wouldn't sell a lot of the kind of like fresh food or prepared food or anything like that.
Newsagent.
Yeah, newsagent or corner shop, as we'd call it, even though it's not on a corner.
My one was. I had a corner shop on the corner of my street.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I had a legit corner shop.
Well, the corner shop when I was a kid growing up, the man there was mean. He was really mean. Apart from it had a sign that said no more than 2 school children at once at the front. Yeah. He charged you 10 pence more for a cold can of Coke out the fridge.
What a monster!
So you'd have cans of Coke on the shelf and cans of Coke in the fridge. It was 10p more for a cold can.
Speaking of Coke, I'll wet my whistle. Right then, Andrew, where would you go to if you had this power?
Well, I tell you what, I was going to say, I would rather have this time travel device than the DeLorean from Back to the Future. And there's a good reason.
You don't have to go 88 miles an hour. It doesn't rely on gas.
Apart from that.
Or
it goes other places, right? So if you got the DeLorean in Hill Valley and you went to like the birth of Christ, like he says in the film, was one of the examples, you would still be in Hill Valley in the year 0000. At least this is very much like the Doctor Who TARDIS, which, let's not use the comparison there too much. But at least it can go other places as well. Where would I go? Oh, good question. I can tell you where I'd go. Tell you exactly where I'd go. I would go to the greatest concert ever. I would go to Live Aid in London to watch Queen live.
Fair. Where would I go?
Edward the Black Prince would go to Edo, Japan, I believe. Eric would go back to the 80s for sure, go to Van Halen concerts and stuff like that.
That'd be pretty awesome. Dare I say, most bodacious.
I might also go back in time to get myself some Kentucky Fried Chicken from the 80s when it used to taste good. Well, they changed it, and everyone goes, it's not as nice as it used to be.
I'm glad that we're all saying that we just go back and experience stuff and not like, oh, I'd go back and get shares in Apple or stuff like that.
That's another thing I might do,
while you're there.
Yeah, while I'm there. Oh, Mad Max question for the science guys. When they traveled in time, but not space, how do they account for the fact that the planet has moved? I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
We know that gravity affects time. Perhaps it pulls them with them. I am not a science guy, as you can tell.
No. Oh,
I'm an English lit major.
Lizard Man. Saying getting shares in Apple is boring. I want to ride the Journey into Imagination ride before it got changed. So you want to see, was it the Dreamcatcher or the Dream Master and Figment?
The Dream Master, I think. The little dragon?
Yep, with Figment. That's it, Dream Finder and Figment, thank you.
Actually, Alien ride.
Oh, I don't know about that. Actually, no, Lizard Man. Do you know what I'd do? I'd go back and buy more popcorn buckets and eBay them. On Calbot and the 2-track Mr. Toad's Wild Ride before they replaced it with Pooh in Walt Disney World? Or what about Ride Rocket Rods in Disneyland before it basically destroyed the structure of what was Disneyland's People Mover? There we go. We'll stop Disney nerding for a minute now. He says with his bespoke magic band, just to hand. There we go. So,
I think I have anything Disney to hand.
Oh, and my let's see if I can show this without anything too personal showing. And my oh, there you go. And my, I don't know if you can see that on my phone, and my Walt Disney World annual pass, even though I live in the UK. There we go. Question is, how is this phone working? I'm going to assume it's a time machine. I'll give it a buy. It just works somehow.
Deputy Van Halen. I love it. Bill and Ted are supposed to be this duncy duo. They just tricked his cop dad.
His dad's maybe not a very good cop. Captain Logan.
But
I remember
San
Dimas Deferred Travel, Galaxy Travel, Land of... Oh, right, it's got actually adverts in for all the figures in history.
Mogul Travel. Or don't.
I kind of would have liked it
first.
I kind of would like a subplot of some random guy going in there and thinking it's a normal phone booth and taking it for a ride by accident.
Yeah. No one cares. It's just like, what?
Best fart ever.
Oh, yes.
Way I see it, I'm a cultured man. You know, but I have wide tastes in art house and the many arts and crafts and whatever. But I still enjoy a good fart joke.
Who doesn't?
Exactly.
Most of our watchers are going to be like, you children.
No, even Sharon says, yes, as far as farts go, this is in the top 10 for sure. Oh, Lizardman says, if you look just to the right, you can probably see Marty trying to avoid charging Native Americans. And CK on YouTube says, it means they did travel in space. Onzi, that's the dream. A gif.
He's meant to have two left hands. As a left-handed individual, I need to be very protective of my culture. And I know that Billy the Kid didn't actually have, I don't even think he was left-handed.
No.
But I believe the newspapers said he has two left hands because being left-handed was more impressive because the left hand is useless and can't do anything.
And of course, Sparky John just posted Dan Shaw, who, of course, was Ram in Tron, who we had on for a little while for our Tron watch party a while ago. Playing Billy the Kid. He said it was a role he really enjoyed. And I'm going to say, I think he's a better Billy the Kid than Emilio Estevez is in the Young Guns movies. But their movies have been forgotten about mostly now.
I know. I still can't get the song out of my head, though. The Bon Jovi song.
No, Young Guns 1 is better than Young Guns 2.
Yeah.
See We just saw this weird man in a blue and pink shirt breakdancing to Michael Jackson in here.
Okay, I'm getting Red Dwarf vibes now from the episode where they go to the Wild West as well. Gunmen of the Apocalypse.
They
Where'd
must
that
have
rope
had
come from?
fun. Yeah, exactly, Sparky John. The bar scene is a parallel to the Girl Scout fight in Airplane. Yeah, it's just over the top. Lizard Man saying, why do so many time travelers end up in the Wild West? Well, I can tell you why.
It's a
the Wild
fun
West,
place.
well, apart from it, probably had disease and you would have died. Yes.
Oh, yeah. And apparently a really weak drywall that you can just slam your head through.
I don't think there were many building standards there. I would have liked to have seen them do something in the past where they are and done like a bit of a Back to the Future type thing, but I think they were playing with the rules a bit where they didn't want to make it that everything was on the line.
Yeah, it was just fun.
Yeah. Oh, I just love it. It's just
it's so great.
Fun.
The premise, we need a book report. Let's kidnap people from history and have them do it for us.
Right. I love the fact that they're nice guys, but their pronunciation is terrible.
Oh, yeah. Where'd they get a football from?
Oh, Ted's got his backpack, hasn't he? Might have been in there.
Oh, yeah, good point.
There's also, inexplicably, a load of pudding cups in there. And books.
I never leave home without my pudding cups. It's just...
Yeah.
So great.
That's right.
So in my history class in school, I used a similar method to help me spell Hippocrates.
Go for it.
Hippocrates was
Hippocrates.
how I called him.
Spark John says, Paulie Shaw auditioned for the role of Bill. Can you imagine that? I would rather not. Thank you.
God, Paulie bloody Shaw. I would argue some perfect, like, lightning in a bottle casting. These two as Bill and Ted are... Now, I can't imagine anyone else in the role.
The actor we're seeing playing Socrates is a British actor called Tony Steedman. That's right. Yeah, exactly. As posted by Sparky John. However, can anyone tell me his possibly other very famous 80s Hollywood movie sort of role or cameo? Let's see if anyone knows. Chaos Fears typing. See if anyone gets it. His other famous 80s Hollywood movie role. Any ideas, Dom?
I haven't got a bloody clue. It's going to hit me like a train once it's been said, and I'm going to feel stupid again. But that's okay.
There's a lot of people in our community typing away. That's right, Sharon Scrooged. He was the head waiter in the restaurant where Bill Murray is hallucinating, and he's going, "No, sir, you don't want that, sir. No, 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 no. You don't want that, sir."
See, I told you I'd feel dumb after it gets said out loud. Excellent.
Hmm.
It is great that there's so many different locations that look pretty damn good for a budget as limited as this one.
Yeah. I think it was 10 million. Yeah, 10 million budget. I mean, it made 40 million at the box office, but it's incredible for...
It looks so much more expensive than it is.
Oh, definitely.
Because location shooting like this, it's not cheap.
Sharon, ooh, the ladies. Yeah, the princesses. Princess Joanna and... I have to look up their names. I remember it's Princess Joanna and Elizabeth. But again, the repercussions of everything in time, that basically that anything that happens with them, it's like the timeline is immune to being affected.
Yeah, nothing really gets affected by everything they do.
Yeah.
How did they sneak into the...
There's always a bit in a minute as well that I've always thought is a bit strange.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Because putting a suit of armor on
takes a hot minute.
It takes a while and it requires help to do it.
Admittedly, every single time because in England, a lot of school trips, they take you to castles because we have castles every 2 feet.
Exactly.
Whenever they had props and armor and stuff, for starters, it's heavy. It is so heavy. Even like the doublets that aren't even metal.
And don't forget as well, in most school tours, you're not allowed to touch any damn thing at all.
No. So when you get the opportunity, you touch everything.
Yeah. I can see Cultural Kitsch saying that they love Diane Franklin, who plays Princess Joanna. I agree. Everyone's wonderfully cast in this. Now, this is something I have a bit of a weird issue with in a minute. So we can see the suit of armor's laying there perfectly intact.
Yeah, again, perfectly intact.
Well, again, you could maybe puncture it with a sword. Okay, I'll grant that, because it's just puncturing through the steel, potentially.
Darth Ted is no more.
Chaos Fist saying, I've fallen and I can't get up.
But even this set, like, it's beautiful. It looks perfect. I'm not thinking this is a cheap set.
Oh, what is
no
it?
idea how he missed a dude in a suit of armor, but
yeah. It's definitely upset.
Most non-triumphant. Yeah, that one rickety sword did a number on that piece of armor.
Yeah. Exactly. Lizard Man saying, I honestly miss these kinds of time travel movies where the characters just went everywhere and anywhere. Now we have the super serious stuff with paradoxes and constant whatevers. Yes, Sharon, it's what we're all thinking.
Yeah. I will put medieval dickweed in my lexicon of insults from now on. That's amazing.
I don't quite know how you would accidentally fall out of a suit of armor.
It was poorly put on.
Okay,
clearly.
We'll go with that. We'll go with that.
It was poorly put on because you need multiple people to don a piece of armor.
I'm not sure. What berries or fruit are these
I
growing?
was just thinking that. I'm like,
are they peppers?
what are they?
They look like peppers.
As
Or
we all know.
Tomatoes. No, because tomatoes grow on vines. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think they're peppers. I don't know. Quickly, my botanist team in Discord. I need help.
I'm going to say it's random set dressing that's not a fruit at all, but plastic. And they just threw it on and said, it's medieval fruit.
Chaosphere says it's magic.
Essentially, the reverse of this is how I won my wife.
Mad Matt says it's Italian restaurant decor.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They're at an Olive Garden or something.
Yeah. I'm proud to say I've never actually been to an Olive Garden, and I'd like to keep it that way.
Free breadsticks, my dude. So many breadsticks.
Yeah, I know, but I avoid the British version of Olive Garden. Frankie and Benny's like the plague.
Frankie and Benny's is leagues away. Same thing, though. I understand exactly what you're saying.
The nearest thing that there is in the UK to Olive Garden.
Sup, ugly old dudes.
We're seeing John Carlson there, who's a New Zealand actor, but he's one of them ones who's not really been in much that you'd heard of, to be honest. He's just one of them.
No, those are trumpets, not horns.
I love the fact this is imaginary medieval England.
Yeah. I've just noticed how cheap that crown looks as well. Like,
everything, everything.
Toy jewels in it.
And there's no tension on those ropes around their necks at all.
None.
I love Socrates in this one because he's just such a nice guy, isn't he?
Socrates and Billy the Kid just disguise themselves as executioners.
I can imagine the pitch with this being a studio executive. So I've written a script, yeah. So in this one scene, we've got our heroes being saved in medieval England. Okay, yeah. And they have to get into their phone box on the back of a horse and carriage as they're being rescued by Billy the Kid and Socrates.
Let me write the check for $10 million right now.
Okay.
It's just goofy.
It's great. It's just fun and harmless.
Yeah, exactly. It's fun. Did you say bloody hell?
Well, Edward, the Black Prince, is saying, I like how they want us to forget that Billy has a gun. It's kind of good that he doesn't. I'm going to say that Billy is saving his ammo.
Or he spent his load back in the Wild West.
No, because we see he's got ammo later on.
Oh, yeah.
Lizardman saying, I've just thought of something. If you were gathering a band of time-traveling historical figures, like for an adventure party, who would you pick? I don't know, really. I think Billy the Kid, he looks like a good laugh.
Yeah. And Socrates, too.
Yeah, as well, because he seems a nice guy.
just had a message from the most excellent Chris Stratton saying that he's watching. So, party
hello,
on,
Chris.
dude.
Well, Chris can always join us for a watch party anytime, if he wants to.
Exactly. Got to pick a film, Chris.
Exactly. So Onzi is saying he would pick Doctor Who, Doc Brown, Bog and Jeffrey from Voyagers and H.G. Wells. I wouldn't, because I think you'd end up with too much arguing amongst the time travelers.
Oh, most definitely.
Because also, let's be honest, if you've got Doctor Who with you, you don't need any other time traveler because he's like a master of time travel. His people, by definition, are the Time Lords. I don't think H.G. Wells, who knocks them together in his shed, is going to be able to give him much of a run for his money on his time travel knowledge.
Well, didn't H.G. Wells in a movie, didn't he go after Jack the Ripper in 1970 San Francisco?
Yes, he did, in one of our director David Weiner's favorite films, Time After Time, where he was played by David Warner. Sorry, David Warner played his friend, who was Jack the Ripper, and it was Malcolm McDowell.
Malcolm McDowell, thank you. That was on the tip of my tongue, and I couldn't remember his name.
Oh, this is such a great song.
They've just met God. Well, their God. They're also calm.
Yeah.
I guess they time travel all the time, so meeting people of significance in history isn't that big of a deal.
This song is called, I think it's called Time. I'm trying to remember because I know the soundtrack really well. This song is called In Time by Robbie Robb, if you're looking for it.
Ooh.
The whole soundtrack is absolutely brilliant, Onzi. It's one I do listen to in my car. Yes, Dougie Lee Curtis, the soundtrack is most excellent. Only thing I'm amazed by is there's that many future people there who know how the phone booths work and all the technology works, and none of them have noticed that the aerial on the top hasn't retracted and is all bent.
Yeah. Well, like I said, God just appeared to them. They are.
Yeah. I'll go with that.
Should we tell them that their phone booth is messed up?
And they may die? Oh, God. The threshold of hell. These kind of children's play centres. I can tell you something with my young niece, well, when she was a lot younger. Again, dominance, as you've ever had to do. Has anyone here ever taken a child to an indoor play centre?
I have.
You have you?
Mm-hmm. It was an indoor trampoline centre, and my wife and I were part of a child's birthday party, a 4-year-old's birthday party, and there was so many kids.
Dom, the screaming.
Yeah.
It echoes.
You become numb to it at some point.
It's horrendous.
I love how Napoleon is fighting kids for ice cream.
Yep. I will say, though, I do enjoy a good ice cream parlour. Onzi saying, is this like a Chuck E. Cheese ripoff? I guess so. It's just a children's party centre. But in the 80s, there were a lot of them. There were more than just Chuck E. Cheese.
Like Chuck E. Cheese partnered with Showbiz Pizza Bear?
Yeah, and they got bought out by them, and then Showbiz became...
Pizza.
Yeah, they got bought out by Showbiz eventually.
There's still Chuck E. Cheese's everywhere.
Yeah.
They're using the brand, aren't they?
If you want really, really average pizza.
Oh, I wouldn't even say it's average. Little Caesars is more like an average pizza. Ah, yes.
Sharon saying the old-fashioned ice cream parlors used to be everywhere when I was growing up. I'm quite fortunate near where I live in Cardiff. We've actually got a one of the best Italian gelato places in the country, and yeah, I'll see if where on earth have I put my phone. I'm going to put a post, as I do often. I sometimes post exclusive photos to our Discord community of things I've seen and done. I will post a photo from my phone of an amazing bowl of gelato that I had there once. Because that's standard. You have to take photos of everything you have if it's exotic.
It's Beethoven, right? My classical music is terrible.
Well, they call him Dave Beef Oven, don't they?
Oh, so yeah, it is Beethoven. I was like, wait, it's not. What's the other like really classical pianist? Smeg. Can't think of his name now. Like I said, my brain is not switched on today. Chopin. Come on, Sir Crates, do it.
On Joan of Arc.
Yes.
Lizardman saying weird they didn't pick Mozart. He'd probably more into this than Beethoven, given his personality. Oh, this song is another of my favorites. This is Two Heads Are Better Than One by Power Tool. And that's right, Sharon and John. Jane Weedlin playing Joan of Arc from the Go-Go's. Onzi's asking, does Wimpy still exist in the UK?
Oh,
kind of. Not many places left now.
Yeah, there's like 3 maybe Wimpies existing left.
Yeah, they're not. You're not missing much.
No.
Oh God. Now I've got a bone to pick with Americans. A serious bone to pick after this scene here and from a few other films, including Ghostbusters. Twinkies. You overhyped them to me.
They're fine.
They just taste of sweet.
Yeah.
There's like no other flavor except just sweet.
Yeah. Sponge cake and sweet. I'll tell you what is like amazing and terrible at the same time, which is a deep fried Twinkie. Yeah, a couple of bites and you're in heaven. A couple of bites later and you're in hell. It's horrible. Yeah, but you Dom, regret everything.
Compare a Twinkie to the wonder of the range of Mr. Kipling products.
Yeah, Mr. Kipling's, the little square cakes. Oh, I love them.
Fruit ones, Mr. Kipling, chocolate ones, icing ones, ones with chocolate chips.
Comparing English like candy and cakes to American candy and cakes, it's not even a competition. Fix it with like duct tape and
pudding cups.
Chewing gum, right?
Yeah, chewing gum and pudding cups. This is showing the age of this film as well, because the bowling alley's not got the computer to type in the names into.
God, yeah. Oh, I remember going to the bowling alley near mine all the time. And I remember seeing like cheating gits doing that.
I'm also going to say
Napoleon's just a jerk. Like,
he is. He's just really arrogant, isn't he? But he wasn't he? He was supposed to be the emperor, wasn't he? For a while, he was ideas above his station somewhat. I'm also going to say something as well, Dom, just while we're on the subject of American snacks and things. The first time I had Hershey's chocolate, I thought it was off.
Yeah, same. I was so disappointed.
Yeah, why does this taste so sicky?
Yeah, it's not like delicious like Cadbury's at all.
Chocolate's supposed to be nice and comforting. Ah, there we go. Lizardman saying Napoleon became king, named himself emperor, put the crown on his head. Ego doesn't begin to describe Napoleon. So he's fairly accurate then.
Yeah. Bowl. I just love that he's an angry guy. He's just this really pissed off,
short,
grumpy, miserable. Yeah. And he never like attacks anyone. He's just
okay.
Sparky
John, I'm going to call you up on that there. Actually, he's saying sorry to all my American friends, but your chocolate is just yuck. No, I know there is one in Vegas that you've probably been to, Ghirardelli or Ghirardelli.
Oh yeah, the chocolatier place.
Yeah, good American chocolate.
Oh yeah, there's like a tour that they do of how they make the chocolate, and they give you samples with wine and chocolate afterwards as well. Oh, it's great.
But Hershey's utter crap, I'm sorry to say.
They're getting better now because they bought. Was it Hershey's that bought Cadbury? I can't remember.
No. Mondelez, part of Kraft, bought them, but I think they are the same group.
Yeah.
Oh. Or is there anything worse than handling other people's chewing gum?
Blech. My hands are feeling sticky just thinking about it.
Oh. There's an alternate cut of the film where after that repair, all that happens is the booth just explodes. Oh. I love the fact the two cavemen are chewing gum as well.
Isn't that Alex Winter and Keanu Reeves as well? Yeah. I was about to say, how do you know?
Oh, that's right, Sharon. Yes, putting ABC gum in your mouth, already being chewed. Oh. I used to love chewing gum, but when I was a kid, my mum stopped me having anything but Hubba Bubba brand because it was non-stick gum. Because I used to be quite good at blowing bubbles with my gum, and I ended up getting it all in my hair and all over my face. So the Hubba Bubba you would just peel off, but cheap chewing gum or cheap bubble gum, sorry, hell's only game nightmare trying to get it out of everything. So my mother drew a firm line in the sand.
Only Hubba Bubba from now on.
Yes. That's the stuff on the Hubba Bubba.
Hubba Bubba. There it is.
I'm not going to get into the time travel thing because I've just realized what Rufus said didn't make sense, because if they think they've got more time and they've got a time machine, surely they could just stay there instead of going off in the time machine, having time to prepare without, but yeah, anyway.
Maybe there's a constant timeline or some nonsense. The alpha timeline. What are those headphones?
Well, one thing I am noticing in the garden is, and I'm hoping it is because she's supposed to be a bit airheaded, I think she's watering plastic flowers. I don't know if it's just for the sake of, the film because they'd put them in the garden for whatever reason. Or are they trying to make out, because she is a bit ditzy, she is watering the plastic flowers?
Maxine of Arc. Herman the kid. I know I can't even think of a fake name for him.
Yeah. Spike Jonze saying he loves the cleaning scene. It is great.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's subtle, but
yeah,
they have like it shows off their characters, which is weird in this tiny scene. You don't need to really
but who
care
hasn't, when they were a kid, done that with a vacuum cleaner? You put it over your mouth.
Yeah, exactly.
You get sucked into it. Well, the actual ice cream parlor was a showbiz pizza venue.
Oh, wow. There you go. American audience, did your book reports get broadcast to the whole darn class in assemblies like this? Mine was so boring. It was just me in a class.
Sorry, just so we haven't forgotten about Dougie and our friends joining us over on YouTube. Dougie saying Socrates Johnson. I just love that they gave him a last name. It is great. And they just gave up when it came to Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah. And Abraham Lincoln.
I see Matty saying, I love this movie so badly, I forgot the chat. This is such a fun film.
Yeah, it's just fun. He was a dick. Yeah, that's fair.
If you want to grace generals, where would you go? Yeah. I'm going to post one more picture in the Discord because of I like going, when I've been on holiday, I go to water parks. I don't know. I'm going to post my borderline life-changing injury I achieved at a Disney water park 3 years ago. Yeah. Which is, yeah. I could, as my wife says, I could have an accident in an empty room.
There was a water park in Vegas called, oh my God, yeah, that looks terrifyingly painful.
Oh, it was, yeah. I slipped getting off a ride and my knee slipped down a meter, basically against stifled concrete the whole way down.
Oh. Ouch.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a place called Wet n Wild in Vegas.
Yes.
There's a new Wet n Wild now, but 90s Wet n Wild Vegas, apparently, according to my wife, was next level amazing.
Yes. The ones I go to, I mean, I've been to the Disney ones in Florida and they are really good. Honestly, it's not a bruise and a cut. I actually wore the skin away in those areas completely and wore some of the muscle under the skin away. It was like a cheese grater graze. Edward, has it healed up right? Yes and no. It took about 3 or 4 months to heal, and it's still it's still tender sometimes. So I think I did nerve damage, unfortunately. But all I did was I went home, bandaged it up, and we went in a theme park where I wasn't in the water in the afternoon because they didn't appreciate me bleeding in the pools.
Oh, how could they? That's mean.
Yeah.
God, yeah, I went to the Disneyland parks when I was a kid in Florida. Typhoon Lagoon, I think
that's where I did my injury at Typhoon
There you go,
Lagoon.
yeah. My brother had an injury there. It's clearly a place full of injuries. It's worse than Action Park, if you've heard of Action Park. Oh, now
that's really good. That's a documentary I recommend everyone look for.
Class Action Park.
Class Action Park. It is a wonderful documentary where the whole time you're just screaming, what? This can't be real.
For the US folks, it's on Hulu, Class Action Park. It's well worth a watch. It's very interesting. And of course, everyone is gone.
Oh, such an 80s thing with the aerobics.
Yeah, just having an aerobics in the middle of a mall.
The mall, yeah. So I can see Dougie saying, as an American, I can't even say that my teachers paid attention to my book reports, let alone an entire school assembly. Yes, Mad Matt, that is quite creepy. I didn't want to bring attention to the fact that his underwear was nearly see-through in that. And he was grabbing and carrying them. It was a different time, Sharon.
Look how proud he is. Oh, I forgot that Socrates and William the boy are hitting on chicks at the mall.
Yeah. Speaking of music shops, if I was to ever, do the fictional win the lottery, and money was no object, I have no musical talent myself. However, I would buy a piano. And the reason is there's a specific piano I'd love to buy. It's called a Yamaha Disclavier, and they're about £50,000. Basically, through various deals that Yamaha have with people like Elton John, you can buy specific Blu-rays of them in concert that you play. And while you're watching them on the screen, your piano reproduces the notes that that person was playing live on stage. It's recorded there perfectly.
That is such a uniquely niche market. Yes. And they sell pianos that do that for 50 grand.
Yep. It's of the, if Sir needs to ask how much it is, Sir can't afford it.
Yes.
I love it.
Oh, this is making me want to watch Big Trouble in Little China now. Mm.
Nice. Even the music on this is a brilliant bit of music.
This is more Mozart than Beethoven, admittedly, yeah.
Yes.
And again, the characterization is surprisingly well done. Like Joan of Arc being someone who encourages everyone to better themselves and in strength and gymnastics and such. Beethoven being...
Well, they did glaze over the Genghis Khan implied the rumored cannibalism and pillaging somewhat.
That was slightly skirted over.
Yeah, that would have been a dark scene, wouldn't it? Oh, he's eaten someone. Let's get him out of here.
Oh, not again.
Yeah. Exactly, Lizard Man. You'll go where I eat, defile what I defile, and eat who I eat. Simpsons quote. But again, this is such a vision of the 80s, isn't it? Where malls were such a center of activity for everything. Absolutely.
You could have an ice rink in the middle of
you would. There were malls with like mini theme parks in them, and you had the food courts and you had the cinemas and everything, and it's all just gone. The malls are dying.
Yeah, it's a crying shame. Now there's just weird fish that eat skin on your feet.
Yes. Exactly, Sharon saying, yes, it was the best place to be. They were. I remember the first time I went to an American style mall in the UK, and it was just crazy.
Where?
I went to Meadow Hall, not Meadow Hall, sorry, Metro Centre, the biggest one in the UK at the time in Newcastle.
Oh.
That was the first one I went to. I grew up in Lincolnshire, and we had just traditional, what we'd call a high street. So basically, we just had some, well, you know what a high street is, Dom. It's just a load of shops just all together kind of thing.
Yeah.
But also, Bill and Ted don't make an effort to tell Abraham Lincoln not to go to the theatre that night when they return.
Unchanged history, dude.
Yeah. That's a line, isn't it? Even the teachers are like, yeah, that was bad.
Yeah.
That was bad.
All of them just shaking their heads. Like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah, but I can get everyone to cheer. Here, watch this in the chat. Creative VC high school football rules. There you go. They'll all cheer now. I am a lawyer.
It seems like his dad is like punishing him for all the shenanigans that's going on, even though he can't possibly be involved in all the nonsense.
Everyone get the notepad out.
Yep.
What I would say is I do think that considering how, I mean, obviously out of the two actors, the biggest career has been that of Keanu Reeves, the absolute biggest. I mean, he's become such a big superstar of this. The fact that he came back to do a relatively low budget film like Bill and Ted Face the Music, and he doesn't hide away from doing this, must show how much fondness he has for this and how much he enjoyed making these movies.
Definitely. If you smoke around me, don't exhale. It's one of those movies where you do hope that it was as much fun to make as it is to watch.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's infectious, the fun they look to be having.
Yeah.
I think one of the weirdest things for me was, though, one of the biggest movies I saw Keanu Reeves in after this was Parenthood. And it was very much like Ted in Parenthood, the way the character was played.
Yeah, I remember seeing like Bram Stoker's Dracula shortly after I watched Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. And I was like, I can't help but hear Ted, even though you're trying to do an English accent.
I love the 80s motivational stickers everywhere. If you can do better, please do it.
Please do it. I'm admiring that mohawk. It's a pretty good mohawk.
That's right, Lizard Man. There was a time where everyone thought Keanu Reeves was a bad actor, and now, since John Wick, can't get enough of him. Everyone likes Keanu Reeves. You just got to like the guy.
Yeah.
For me, Speed is still one of his best movies.
Speed was good.
Speed is a great movie.
The Day the Earth Stood Still remake was...
Yeah. It happened.
It existed.
Yeah.
Come on, Bill, put you back into it.
Yeah, but I don't understand is where's the trash can dropped from?
See, again, that action didn't have malice to it at all.
No.
And he was even like, hey, Dad, sorry about this, but...
Oh, don't give them an F.
I actually haven't seen him in Much Ado About Nothing. I need to watch that version of it. If Keanu's in there, that sounds fun. Because I like Much Ado About Nothing. It's a good Shakespeare play.
Now we are witnessing genuinely one of the best scenes in any movie ever. This makes me smile. This whole scene, I love it.
And it's so 80s.
It is. It's wonderful. So put your hands together, everyone. Except us, Dom, because we'll be out of sync with their videos.
We will, yeah.
Yeah. That's right. James Hellier saying, surprised Alex Winter didn't have a bigger career that he's had. Terrifying and Lost Boys, funny in this. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
And Dougie Lee Curtis saying, Speed was great. Speed 2, when the rush hour hit the water, not so much. Speed's just awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sharon, I fully agree with that on Z. Yeah, Sharon's 100% right. This ending, not Napoleon Dynamite.
Yes.
Because in Napoleon Dynamite, he never really changes. This shows that they always had this within them, and it's a confidence thing.
Philosophizer in ancient Greece. And they say his name correctly now. They do grow, they learn.
Ooh. Sparky John saying, can I be controversial? Napoleon Dynamite is overrated. I don't think it's aged very well.
I enjoy Napoleon Dynamite still. Then again, I haven't seen it in years.
Yeah. Lizardman says, give these two credit. They actually gave some fairly decent historical facts, and they've learned something through this whole thing. They have.
Yeah. What?
Exactly, Sharon. They gave the high school report we wished we could have all given in high school.
Damn right.
Watch as he slaughters the front row in the audience.
He devours them.
Oh, I see, Matty. Someone had to say calm, didn't they?
Totally ravaged Oshman's sporting goods. Miss of Arc. Everyone's got their pudding.
Yep. Well, Slippery When Wet was a monumental album. Oh. Everyone loved Slippery When Wet. No.
Just the spoil sport. He'd totally flip the table in Risk.
Oh, yeah.
How quiet we both are, just watching the scene.
It is. It's a great scene.
It's phenomenal.
It's the last line of his in this film is just amazing. It's so good. Now I'm going to ask a question of all my my Disney fans who were chatting with me in the Discord a few minutes ago. Who wants Disney to reprogram Tales with Mr. Lincoln to end like that?
Be excellent to each other. And party on, dudes. My Deckard Cain impressions coming out.
That booth needs a clean. No, I didn't, Sparky John. I didn't ever get to see Halloween Horror Nights. I know it was very, very good, though. So the crazy thing is they've actually got a proper Wild Stallions drum kit for their band.
I know.
They've literally got everything they need. except talent.
There's a really awesome artwork on the back wall there as well.
Yeah. Exactly, Sharon. They still need talent.
Yeah. And they get the girls at the end as well. There's a little cherry on top. I often complain that a lot of movies that don't have like central villains are weaker.
This one isn't.
But this is a good example of a film without a villain that's just nice.
Yeah, it's a nice film. There's not much I could actually think as a way to even improve this movie, because it's just got a good heart to it.
Yeah. It's just pleasant. It's such a nice view. And it's a solid 90 minutes as well, which is something I miss.
Yeah, well, exactly. It's a solid 90 minutes. It's perfect, this film. It's so, you come away from it and you're just like, yeah, this is great.
I mean, have you heard some people are making 5-hour-long movies these days? I mean, who does that? It's crazy.
Exactly. Dougie saying Ted's father was the only villain. He was a villain, but maybe not. He wasn't a full villain. No, it's great to have you back with us, Sharon. I think everyone needs a film like this sometimes. And that's what's great about these watch parties. Hanging out with friends, just watching some classics.
Where we can all be excellent to each other.
That's the thing. Everyone needs to be excellent to each other.
Here I was earlier on saying how I need to defend my left-handed brethren, and I totally forgot that Keanu Reeves is one of us.
It is. You are right, Sparkton. It's your ultimate comfort movie, and it is a great comfort movie. It's just a nice, fun film. There's no malice in any of it.
And at no point do you feel worried for anything. It's just comfortable. It's popcorn.
Yep.
It's warm apple pie. It's a nice...
It's a hug.
Comfort food. Yeah, it's a hug.
It's a hug in a film. George Carlin was just superb.
It's like Guitar Hero guitars.
Well, everybody, that was Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. What a fantastic, fun time this has been. I've thoroughly loved every moment of today. It's just been great hanging with our friends Dom and all our great friends over in Discord and on YouTube. So we've got James and Dougie joining us on YouTube. And of course, we've got Sharon, Mad Matt, Sparky John, Icy Matty, Chaos Fear, Bikies, Lizard Man, Brainwire, Onzi, and I think we had Edward the Black Prince as well joining us, Calbot. Got all of you joining us. That has been so much fun. So I've got a question, guys. Who wants a Bogus Journey watch party later this year? Okay, Dom does. Sharon says yes.
Bogus Journey was...
Brainwise says yes. Ikey says one. That must be yes. Hell yeah from Eric. I forgot to say Eric was there. Calbot says yes. Okay then, guys, I will later this year, not next week, but later this year, we will have a Bogus Journey watch party. But next week, we are in for a real treat. We are in for one of my all-time favorite films that a lot of people have seen and they love. A lot of people haven't seen, and I think they will love. We have loosened the rules, as you know, on watch parties very slightly. We are covering some of the movies that would fall under the In Search of Legends banner. We've also relaxed our years a little bit. I think this is going to be our first film that relax under the relaxed year rules. Next week, we will be watching The Rocketeer, which is a wonderful, wonderful film of a more simple time. It's popcorn, it's apple pie. It's a wonderful, awesome film. You can see Dougie and James saying yes, and radical. I'm assuming that's for Bogus Journey. But I can see for The Rocketeer, we've got Brainwise saying, ooh. We've got Sharon saying 1,000,000 times yes. Eric saying awesome. Icy Matty saying hell yeah. Lizardman saying, oh yeah, The Rocketeer, why not? I love that movie. Everyone loves The Rocketeer. Onzi saying it's such a great movie. It is. It's such a fun movie. But we've had tonight's movie, we've had Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Icy Matty, please, next week, post all your photos. I know you've got some Rocketeer cosplay stuff. So it'll be wonderful to see. But everybody, in these troubling times, stay safe.
Be excellent to each other.
That's right. Take care of each other. Be kind. Look after one another. And as Bill and Ted would say, be excellent to each other and party on, dudes. Dom, do you have any, in our last 50 seconds, do you have any messages for our audience?
I'm just going to repeat your sentiments. Party on, dudes. Be excellent to one another.
Well, everybody, stay safe, be kind, and party on, dudes. Bye-bye.
See you later.